Hello everybody, welcome back to my SnowRunner Hard Mode playthrough. Picking up from where we left off, and I had thought I was going to use the White Western Star for the next contract. From a contract perspective, apart from the logging, which I've said I'm not going to do just yet, for the Dyson Diesel, there's only one available to us, which is Harbour Delivery. And then the other three Husky missions, or the remaining three Husky missions, are all locked behind Out with the Old, which is locked behind Harbour Delivery. So the next thing for us to do is take a drilling equipment box through to Drummond Island. And then once that's completed, that unlocks Out with the Old. And luckily, before I actually did the drive in the White Western Star, I noticed that Out with the Old, first step is to take a construction rig semi-trailer back all the way. I noticed this construction trailer. You can just about see it's grey on grey, so you may not be able to see it very well. But I'm going to assume that when I deliver this drilling equipment box to this site, that will be the trailer. So luckily I noticed that before taking the White Western Star, because basically that's a high saddle trailer, and therefore I need the Pacific for it. So I'm going to auto load it because I haven't got a crane on this vehicle anyway. I don't want to bring the White Western Star in for it. And then going to take this through to Drummond Island. And certainly from a main contract perspective, it starts feeling like we're closing in on finishing Michigan. There's a few side tasks and contests to do, but yeah, we're closing in on getting stuff done. I'm not sure if we'll get this delivered and the construction rig dragged all the way back to its delivery site, but we'll at least get it a good way through to Smithville Dam. And thank you for the comments once again, because I've had a suggestion of the best route. I mentioned before that I knew I had to take some big cargo to the drilling site in Smithville Dam, and I wasn't entirely sure of the route, and somebody's commented, and looking at the map I agree, even though it looks like it is the long way to go. I agree that it's the most sensible way to go with a large cargo. So this is a little bit of a hill. There's not really much ahead of me to winch to. I'll try. No. So I'm in low, and there's no switchable traction options. Maybe I can caterpillar it out. This is another one where I think the White Western Star came out of here with a semi-trailer without noticing the problem. So I think this is the type of terrain that these tyres aren't the best at. They're brilliant at mud. I'm going to detach the trailer. Pull it forward a bit. Slap the handbrake on. A bit risky doing this. I don't really like flatbeds because cargo always feels a bit more vulnerable in a flatbed to me, but if I can keep a straight line, this might be alright. Yeah, I can't pull this forward, but I can hold my ground while the winch pulls it up a little bit. It's funny because I nearly decided to grab the trailer here and take it empty to one of the other sites. It's the site to the west of here to pick up the cargo, precisely because I didn't fancy driving up this ramp with this trailer and this cargo. That's got it. That's got it enough now that I reckon I can just reattach it. I don't want to be tipping down the side though, so I've got to be a little bit careful here now. This type of trailer just doesn't feel as stable as a semi that's attached on the fifth wheel or saddle. I'm not sure if the remaining currently locked other contracts require us to come back here. We've only got one scouting task, which is the one where pretty much on the left of where we are right now there's some points of interest that you have to reach, which I will bring the Chevy pickup truck back down for. And then there is also a contest that looks like it's a case of find and retrieve a pallet of fuel or oil barrels, and that's probably a job where the Fleet Star would be best, because we don't have a bed on the White Western Star. But those are the only two non-contract activities on this map now, a contest and one scout mission. There's quite a lot of tasks in Drummond Island. Once I finished all of the bridges, didn't really do anything else in Drummond Island. Just opened the map up and then left. So there are quite a few tasks to complete there. I've got plenty of fuel. I'm going to leave whatever fuel's in that fuel bowser. I'll leave for somebody who needs it more urgently than this truck at the moment. been a fair while since we've been back to Drummond Island. I don't think we've done much here for a while. Obviously it's where we got the Pacific. With this cargo I'm not going to take the shortcut through the logging camp. Because I want to be careful not to drop the car. If I drop the cargo off the trailer, I'll have to bring the White Western Star with its crane anyway. Because obviously there's no other way to get it back on. So I'm just taking the conservative, slightly longer route with it. I will confess to you all that while I'm driving this, this is an act of procrastination, because I sat down at my desk this evening fully intending to edit up another episode, because I've got 3 in a backlog ready to edit, and I don't really like going that far ahead really, but then I looked at the editing software, I looked at the game and thought, nah, I fancy playing tonight. So I'll record this episode and then probably edit at least one of them up anyway, just so that I don't sort of one in, one out queue, no more than 2 or 3 in the queue, and I'll feel vindicated, but really I have to confess, it's just procrastination. Really, I should be editing, not driving at the moment. Right, we're just going to grab some fuel out of that tanker. And then the fuel that we grab now needs to be enough to get us back to Smithville Dam with the next cargo. If I'm right and this is where you... I'm sure I am, but if I'm right and this is where you pick up the next construction trailer, then that's our last fuel stop until we get back to the dam section, resupply zone in Smithville Dam. So another comment on a recent video, which I always really appreciate, is about this truck and its tyres. And it makes sense, because this truck is so capable in this muddy stuff, that these are specially coated tyres for this vehicle, and that they're unique to this vehicle. They're the only tyres, you can't put them on anything else, but they're coded to have a really strong mud behaviour, so more so than mud tyres. So that's why this truck is uniquely special and good at going through muddy stuff, which makes total sense. So yeah, thanks for the information on that. That's a nice bit of background on the game that I wouldn't have got through the fact that I'm new to the game when we started playing it, I think a month ago. Because purely from the looks of the tyres, you wouldn't expect them to be able to move through this stuff at all, really. They look more like all-terrains than mud tyres. But they cope remarkably well. Which doesn't mean I shouldn't give them a helping hand or a winch every now and then. Classy bit of parking for those 2 trailers. Nice and neatly parked on the side of the road there, in the trailer park. Some top driver put those there, I think. Right, delivery point is on the left, next to the trailer. So it's got to be this trailer we have to take out. Doesn't make any sense otherwise. Engine off. Just out of interest, we have what, 3/4 of a tank of fuel ish. Not too bad. Cargo and unload. $590 XP, $4,750. Nice. And then just out of interest on the XP. Yeah, 130 XP from level 14. Level 14 unlocks something that I wanted. Maybe the big roof rack for the Chevy Scout. Although by the time we unlock it, we don't really need it, I don't think. Okay, so let's drop this trailer off somewhere. Neat-ish. Looking on the map, let's just make sure. I'm pretty sure. Dyson Diesel, out with the O, which is incidentally the last task for Dyson Diesel. We've done all the rest. And we've got to find the trailer. I wonder where it could be. Somewhere in the yellow zone, we've got to find the trailer. balance. We'll go the right way through the loading dock. Oh, there it is. Right. Let's position ourselves to get this hooked up. And the delivery point for it in Smithville Dam is basically a long route. But I'm gonna make a start on it, and I'd like to at least get it to a reasonable location in the dam, even if I then do the final leg of the delivery in the next episode. That would connect, but right, we're on. So the engine off a sec. And so the delivery point, we have to snake our way back out of here into the Smithville Dam, and then in Smithville Dam it's going to be from this gateway, follow the twisty road all the way through the dam, from the mounting height down to the dam level, past the quarry. We've got a refuel option here, so that's our first refueling choice on this route. I haven't got any other fuel trailers anywhere else on this route. And then the delivery point is here at the drilling site, which is, I think the route would be around the top of the log station and avoid this twisty coastal route. But anyway, enough of that. Let's get it done. So I just like to put, it's following my nose. The one place that I might stop and wonder whether I have to turn left or right is I'm right at that location. It's fun towing these big trailers. Not really much from a terrain perspective for this route back. It's pretty much good dirt trail and asphalt most of the way. I don't think there's any particularly challenging terrain or bumpy bits that I'm worried about. It's more a case of some tight, twisty manoeuvring parts to think about. And of course it's coming into dusk just as we're starting to do the interesting bit. We've got sunset happening. Murphy's Law. slightly spicy corner, but I think that is okay. That as wide as the collision box will let me go, so the wheels clear those rocks. And also because the overhang on the bridge camera clipping is annoying. But yeah, that overhang on the right side of the trailer, I want to catch it on the bridge, so I'm trying to hug left a bit. Beautiful answer. Right, what have I done? Oh, that wasn't a great line, was it? I'm going to drag that up there. Take this as wide as I can manage it again. Into low. Still not going to clear it, I don't think. It's got two wheels up on the brakes now, so I think that forward is safer than backwards, but I need to try and get it a little bit further. That's moved it just enough. It has, so that just got enough past it to be able to brute strength the line. This is the brute strength truck after all. Right, so try and hug a barrier on the right to give us a good line around that big rock that's sticking out. Scraping that rock. Scratch and buff out on it. Bit of T-cut and some elbow grease. Nobody will ever notice there was a scratch. think that might have been the trickiest bit of terrain for a while now, so it's a case of just don't lose concentration and drift off the road like I did last episode. Take it steady so that I'm going slow enough to get good steerage. Because this truck does have a tendency to straight line when you want to steer. And I assume it's the automatic diff behaviour. Because although it says diff lock always on, it can't possibly be always on. You know, diffs exist on vehicles for a reason, and that reason is that you can turn corners without snapping your axles. So where it says diff lock always on, I assume what the game means is that the truck turns the diff on and off as needed. And if you're in sticky terrain and the diff lock is engaged automatically by the truck, which is how traction control works on a real world vehicle, then while the diff lock is on, the nature of a diff lock is that you can't turn corners. So I think that's why this truck has a tendency sometimes to straight line corners, is when it's competing with the fact that it's had to do diff lock for traction. You get a bit paranoid with a big trailer like this because it's so tall, it does rock quite a lot from side to side. There's a couple of times when it's rocked and I thought, oh no, it could be going, and then it just comes back. But it's just exaggerating how much the wheels are moving because the trailer's so tall. They've got a bad line through that. Back her up a bit. Try that. Take it a bit wider. That's better. Cleared the Armco barrier. Go. So we've reached the tunnel to Smithville Dam. So this route is, again, just follow the road. And hoping to get that far. So 900 meters as a crow flies, but probably close to 3 kilometers by the time you've done the twisty road. but hope to get that far to grab some fuel. And we are down to a third of a tank. So this might be a bit sketchy to get that far without needing to bring the fleet start down on a little fuel rescue. Considering it's night and I can't see anything anyway, I'm going to jump into the cab now. One thing I've noticed about this truck that I haven't mentioned, I don't think, is the fuel gauge in the cab. It does work, but you can't see it because the wheel's in the way. So on the left of the steering wheel, there's a cluster of 4 grey dials, and it's the top right of those dials, it says fuel, and you can just about see the needle when it's on full, but yeah, you can't see it. Maybe focus on driving. You can't see it when you are in the cab view, which is a bit of a bummer. Fuel to be spared doing things like this. In all the other videos I've watched of like truck comparisons and one truck versus another truck on other people's channels before I started making my own, I have never seen anybody do a comparison of which trucks have their fuel gauges in the most visible locations. So I guess it's a thing most people don't worry about. What was that stuck on? I didn't see anything. But that's one of the biggest problems I see vlogging the road. One of the biggest problems with driving a trailer like this at night is that lights don't reach back there, so you don't get to see what it is that you're stuck on. course, if you're doing this job in the real world, you probably have at least 2 other drivers in pickup trucks, scouting ahead, advising the corners, planning the route, all of that stuff. There'd be quite a team operating transport job like this in the real world. You'll be really careful here that I don't have the offside wheels miss the bridge. I might even be better off ignoring the bridge and going around that muddy track. I think that's probably what you're supposed to do. Let's very gently keep myself to the left of the bridge as much as possible. If I drop this down in there, then it's restart mission time, isn't it? But there's not a lot from here that I can do. I really could do... yeah, that's not going to work. Nope. That is not going to work. I do not believe that will work. Got the trailer more to this side maybe, but I think I'm gonna go with my instincts, which is take this truck off the bridge to the left, because I think that is, for this particular load, the safer route. Fuel is telling me it's red. I'm not surprised given the slow pace of the movement that we're doing. So I've got 2 wheels on the bridge, 2 wheels in the mud on the trailer, but I still think that was the right play. In fact, I know it was. Yeah, I'm over the bridge and done. That was definitely the right play. Tense, isn't it? That's a little bit gnarly, isn't it? As wide as I feel it's safe to go. And then hope the trailer can scrape by. Trailer is caught. And it's dark and I can't see. I don't like it. I don't like that much. Can you imagine? Because now I'm running out of fuel as well, so I think this might be the point where I need to admit that I need to go and get fuel. Yeah, so we're past the obstruction now. That is just me out of fuel now. Engine off. Make sure the handbrake's on. We've obviously blocked the mountain pass, but luckily there's nobody else on the map anyway. Where is the Fleet Star? It's there. Fill her up. So 240 litres in the tank. Lights on. That's another thing the devs have done a really good job of, is how you can feel the difference in the weight of a truck when you're driving it. This, after driving the Pacific a fair bit, this Fleet Star feels like a pickup. You know, it's just the mass. It's quite a impressive thing that through using a mouse and keyboard and looking at a computer screen, you can feel the mass of the vehicle. I'm impressed. Right, so what I'm going to do is 75. Yeah. That leaves me plenty to get the Fleet Star out. I'll pop the Fleet Star up on the bank here so that I can drive past it. Hopefully without tipping it over. Maybe that was a little bit more of a bank than I thought it was. Let's just reverse it straight out. And then handbrake, engine off, and we'll leave that beauty there. Am I close enough to do the quick cab transfer? Yes. And then now we've got enough fuel to get us with the sunrise into the resupply area to then refuel properly. And the gamer in me wants to push on and complete the task, but the content creator / editor in me is saying no, keep it reasonable. There's not much I can cut out because I don't like cutting out main contract stuff. I'll do some of the really trivial bits of road for the first step, the moving of the big cargo container. I'll probably have cut some of that by the time you're hearing this commentary. But this main task of moving this big item, there's not really anything in there I'll cut at all. And I don't really like, I try to keep all of my videos under an hour. I originally thought, right, let's do 30-minute episodes. But in this game, 30 minutes for me just doesn't get enough done. I'd rather do a longer video and assume people will skip to the bits they find interesting. Whereas if I try to do every video at around 30-35 minutes, I don't know that I would get enough done for me to find it interesting. And I'm also trying to stabilize on one episode per day, and that presents me, again as a gamer, that presents me the additional challenge that's basically 7 hours of play maximum that I'm trying to aim for. And I would naturally play a lot more than that. I'm going to leave this here. Go and refuel. Right. So I'm going to leave that episode there. As much as the gamer in me wants to push on and get this delivered, the editor in me is saying no. Stop, stop, stop. So I'm going to leave this episode here. Hopefully you all enjoyed watching it, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Thank you very much, and see you later. Bye.